What if the way you've been telling your life story reveals the secret to what is holding you back? Stories play an integral part in how we see not only ourselves, but the whole world. Stories are more than just an important part of communication. They also reveal hidden aspects of our inner talk, which can either support us or end up holding us back from the very things we want most in life, without us even realizing it. Join author, mindset coach, and award-winning singer-songwriter Carrie Rowan on her show, Look for the Good, every Monday at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. when she shares nuggets of wisdom from her internationally best-selling book, Tell a New Story, 5 Simple Steps to Release Your Negative Stories and Bring Joy to Your Life. Carrie's powerful stories and compelling guests will empower you to change how you look at your own life while giving you some powerful tools and tips you can use every day to help you feel better and move yourself closer to the life you've been longing to live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Look for the Good. I'm your host, Carrie Rowan, mindset strategist, coach, and I love sharing these little nuggets of wisdom from the stories we tell each other, and more importantly, the stories we tell ourselves. So you can join me and my special guests every week as we share our personal stories of strength and triumph on Dreamvisions7Radio Network. You can listen online on your mobile device, in your car, or you can even ask Alexa to play Dream Vision 7 Radio. So tune in every Monday to Look for the Good at 5 a.m., 5 p.m. You can catch it on your way home. That's Eastern time, where you can get real stories and tips on how to turn your story and your life around. So welcome. I'm super excited here today. Hello, Bri. Bri's waiting in the wings. Hello, Bri. We're excited to have you here.
Hi.
So this is going to be really great. As you guys know, we always come on, we talk about real stuff. We talk about our stories. I love talking about the stories of our overcome story, right? The things we had to get over to get where we are today. And Bri's got some really beautiful stories she wants to share with us. And as you know, it's in those stories. Stories are so important. They're like a little microcosm of our world, right? They contain so much about our lives that we don't even realize. Our beliefs, our limiting beliefs, there's a lot of power in our stories, and how we share them and the language we use is all really part of our storytelling. And I think we really underestimate the power of that in our daily life. And I just love Bri's story, which is why I wanted to have her on the show. I saw her booth when I was at the Worcester Women's Leadership Conference speaking there. And I was like, I have to call her. I just love her MO. I love her vibe. I love what she's doing. So, so let me tell you, Bri is the CEO and she is the founder and owner. She started this amazing store called Bri Sweet Treats. And I just love her whole business model, her vibe, and just everything that she puts into it. So I can't wait to get into it. She's going to tell us all about that. And hello, Bri. Tell us a little something about yourself today.
Hi, Carrie. Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited, and I hope that you and everyone listening is already having a sweet day.
I love that. I love how you signed your email to me. Have a sweet day. I was like, that is great marketing.
Absolutely. Have a sweet day, or sweetest regards, or something like that, because I have to stay true to my brand and who I am.
I love that, because you are super sweet. I love that. That is really, really cool. So I love how you've done that. Now, you didn't know, like, this is not something that like one day you're like, or you grew up and said, I want to be a chocolatier, right? Like, tell us the story. Because I love how you birthed this business. Tell us about that.
This is an amazing story, and I think that I can give you the beginnings of my story in about 5 minutes or so. Um, but Giving back is who I am. It's who I have always been. It's who my family raised me to be. As long as I can remember, I was knee high, and my grandma was taking me and my twin sister Echo around to senior centers and old folks' homes, and we were the entertainment. So we were tap dancing and Mexican hat dancing and learning all the hymns and doing all the things. And we were shoveling out, driveways of people who couldn't do it and raking yards. And it really just became a part of who I was. So much so, it actually allowed me to get a Making a Difference scholarship to attend Clark University.
Wow. I didn't realize that. That's so cool. You went to Clark.
Yeah, I'm a Clarkie. I'm a proud Clarkie. I was at Clark. I got my bachelor's degree there. I'm so proud of it that I really don't even tell people about my MBA, but I do have an MBA since I was
Wow.
25 years old. And I spent 15 years in corporate recruiting. And I got good, and I also got to learn the corporate world, and it wasn't so loving. That was my experience.
So
And
sweet.
the I know, right? But that's okay because it's part of my story. So the
Hmm.
pandemic came, and I was working from home, and my son and I, we looked around and we saw sadness, right? And my son, he was 6 then. He is the chief tasting officer of our company.
She's tasting
Um,
officer.
yeah, and he makes me carry $5 bills around because if there's a homeless person that we drive by and we don't give them money, he is crying, you know. So he
Wow.
has a heart of gold. So we looked around and we saw sadness, and together we wanted to change that. So with zero culinary experience at all, we hopped online and started learning how to make treat boxes.
Wow.
Uh, Me and my son making treat boxes, dipping pretzels and Oreos, and in my opinion, making the most horrific cocoa bombs you've ever seen at that time. But we were making them with love. And we set
Hmm.
out and we walked down our street and we handed out boxes to all of our neighbors. We called
Oh.
our friends and family and we handed out boxes to them too. And we got a response that we were expecting, which was happiness, right?
Hmm.
But it was real happiness. It was unexpected happiness. It was happiness that made people like stop and pause, and like some people were crying and we're walking back
Oh.
down the street and we're crying, and it was awesome, right? So another response that we got, what we were not expecting, was those same people reaching back out to us, asking us how they could get more and telling us
Wow.
we should sell our treats.
Wow. I love that story. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's just like the a part of it. If you give me 2 more minutes, I could tell you the
Tell
rest of it
us.
because it
We
is
want to
so
hear the whole
cool.
thing. We want to hear the whole thing.
I love that. So we get this feedback that we can actually not only have we spread happiness, but people are actually wanting us to sell this stuff. And I'm like, okay, so I start doing this on the weekends. I've got my corporate job and now I'm doing this on weekends. And I got my corporate job, so I'm branding, and we are
Hmm.
under the purple tent, and our bags are purple, and we make this peanut butter cup, and it's one
Mm.
quarter pound almost of deliciousness. And I'm only out there on the weekends, and people start lining up, like
No way.
lining up, and they're bringing coolers, and they're getting 20 to 30 of my peanut butter cups at the same
Wow.
time because they don't know when they're going to see me again.
Wow, that's so cool.
And I started to think, wow, I have something here, not just a part-time something, but something I could really go with here, right?
Yeah.
So pandemic is still here, and unfortunately, my 40-year-old brother passes away from
Oh my
COVID.
gosh, that's
And I
awful.
get the call, and I let my corporate bosses know at the time my brother has passed away, and the answer is, are you coming into work or not?
Oh,
2 weeks later, his mom dies, and I say the same thing, and they say, she's not related to you. You don't have any time. And that was all the catalyst I needed to know that I was going to do Bree Sweet Treats full time, and I was going to make a company that was going to be so much more than just making money. It was going to care about people too.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. That is
So
really moving, Bri.
yeah, it was a catalyst. I don't dwell on that. It was a
Hmm.
catalyst, and it was a necessary evil to push me to what my purpose on this earth was. So
Wow.
4 months later, Free Sweet Treats is full time, right? I open a retail store just this January at the Worcester Public Market. We we give back to the community monthly to
Wow.
nonprofits and local organizations because naturally
Hmm.
that's who I was. So if I was going to open a company, I was going to make sure that we could give, and give. The community has rallied around us, and for 2 years in a row now, we are the #1 chocolate and candy store in Worcester and Lester. And we're looking
Wow.
forward to just giving, 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 and giving.
I love that. That is so amazing. Woohoo. I mean, that is awesome. I love that. You just came out. You served the people in so many different ways, right? Like you gave them something to look forward to. You gave them hope during a time when all of us didn't have hope. And meanwhile, you're going through your own problems. But as they say, that old quote, right, about to ease one's heartache is to ease another's, right? I'm not saying it exactly right, but you know what I'm saying. And so,
Absolutely.
that's it. And it's with that inspiration that you offer this to the people and your community. And that is so inspiring, Bri. I love that. And the CTO, I can't get over that. Chief Tasting Officer is the
Oh
best
yeah,
title.
he's a big part of the company. But I
Yeah.
want to touch on something you just said, and it's so
Yeah.
huge. You said something along shared shared sadness or shared happiness. And there's a saying, I don't know who said it, but it's one of my favorite. But shared happiness is double happiness. And
Mm,
shared sadness is half sadness.
I love
Right?
that.
So
Yeah.
either way, when you're sharing, you're making a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And like when we're feeling bad, say that to my kids a lot. The kids, younger kids tend to, teenagers and older tend to get stuck in what's not right. Right. It's so easy.
Mm,
We all have a tendency to do that. But I think the younger, they haven't learned yet that there's another option. Right. Because what's wrong is always available to us. And learning to shift our
yeah,
mindset to look for what's right is exactly what you just did, which is why my podcast is Look for the Good. Right. And so being able to recognize that and shift that and I will always say, go help somebody, go pick up your
yes,
grandmother and take her to the grocery store. Or, I had a client that came on recently that said if she's stuck in her office and she just can't work anymore, she leaves the house to try to, because we're all working from home, right? Leaves the house to try to go find someone to help. It could be somebody in the grocery store. It doesn't matter
that's
where. And
awesome.
I love that philosophy, right? She could go into the bank and find somebody that needs the door held open for her. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's the intention, right? It's setting that intention to be of service to other people.
Absolutely. And that was just exactly what I was going to do. So the thing is, I always knew that I wanted to make a huge, 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 huge difference and a big, big, big impact. And it's so funny. It's just that chocolate and candy is going to end up being the way that I can change millions of lives. And it wasn't that I set out to make chocolate. I set out to change lives.
Yeah.
And chocolate and candy is just the modem that I'm able to do
Hmm.
that with.
That's amazing. I love that because just thinking about chocolate and candy brings a smile to most people's faces, right?
Right?
But I just love that story. And now you've taken that to even another level, right? So like I love what you've done for corporations, which is so powerful, is how you because that's where you came from. You and I have that in common where we both had our corporate lives before and then something made us go, "Ooh, yeah, this is not a good fit for us anymore."
Mm.
Um, and I love that you understand what corporations want and you have a whole branding through chocolate. I love that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so one of the big parts of our business, and I think that's what you're talking about, is that we provide branded treats for businesses.
Yeah.
We are the premier option for corporate gifting and meetings in Central Massachusetts. And what that means to you, people are going to be able to see us, right?
Yeah. Not on the
Okay,
first
good.
radio. We'll air it first on radio, but then they can see the video. Ooh,
I don't know if you can see this
adorable.
but
I can
that's
see
my
it.
logo,
Hmm.
100% full color. And these are
Wow.
other logos for like the Worcester Chamber, and these are candy. These are dipped Oreos.
Those are adorable.
Yeah, so what I set out to do was really be able to elevate gifting, elevate events, and increase retention. Again, for me, I just feel
Hmm.
like chocolate's just the mode and candy's just the mode that we're able to accomplish these goals. But I tell companies that when you support Bree Sweet Treats and when you make a purchase from me, you're not buying candy, and you're not buying chocolate, you're not buying employee appreciation gifts, you're buying retention.
I
Retention
love
of
that.
your customers, retention of your clients, retention of your staff and
Hmm.
your colleagues, because we live in a world right now where people have a lot of choice
They
in where
do.
they can go and
Hmm.
who they can choose to use for their services. And when we are choosing certain businesses and when employees are choosing to work for businesses, and they have choice, a little recognition goes a long way, right?
So true.
It really does. And I say it's selfish marketing because I can tell you 10 out of 10 times, anybody who sees me and is able to recognize and knows that I made these branded treats that they ate, they instantly tell me where they were, what they were doing, and whose event that they were at. It
Wow.
is a instant memory,
Mm-hmm.
like down, this is what I was doing. And
Yes.
you could give as many pens as you want to, and they are very useful. And they can even write in gold, but nobody's going to put them on social media and be like forever, like have a memory in their head, but they
Yeah.
will when you give them delicious, edible, creamy treats with your logo on it.
I love that. So powerful. As you were saying that, when you said retention, I love doing like, alliterations with more R words. I wrote down reinforcement because you're reinforcing that brand, right? And they're remembering where they were because it was so memorable. Like you said with the pen, that's a great example. We've got 50,000 pens. I couldn't even tell you who was written on the pen, right? You don't remember when you got it, but because it's unique and it's memorable and it's branded for that company, and it made people feel special. Like, wow, that's like something special you'd get at like a wedding or something. You're not expecting it at a business luncheon,
Yes.
right?
Exactly. And we have executives that are doing them for their board members, and you get this beautiful branded box of treats at each seat. We have
Mm,
meetings that are and events that are being hosted where we're doing dessert platters and dessert catering, but also seat gifts. You know what I mean?
yeah.
A Oreo for each seat and each attendee. There's just really no limits. We can literally do almost anything with
I
candy.
I love that. It was in my gift bag because I was a speaker at the Chamber's event, the women's leadership event. It was in my gift bag. I had a nice bottle of wine and that chocolate, Brie, was the most absolutely delicious thing. Like I was like, oh my gosh, just downing both of them because they were so delicious. Like I know
Yes,
it was not only did it look beautiful, like you just showed that one from the chamber, that's what it was. It was absolutely one of the best, most delicious. I'm looking at this going, what is this? This is unbelievable.
right? So let me tell you a very little known fact. Most of the candy and treats that you eat on a day-to-day basis that come from these huge multi-billion dollar corporations, it's
Mhm.
1 to 3 years old. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is still
Wow.
edible and it still tastes fine, right? However, you're eating my candies, they are 24 hours to 7 days
Mm,
old for the most part. And it is literally could potentially be the freshest candy you've ever had the opportunity to eat. And you can
wow.
taste it.
You
But I would
can.
really be remiss if I didn't say you can taste the love because we really, really love what we do.
I was
Really.
gonna say that we're on the same page here. I was gonna say you can feel that was made with love. You just feel it. You just know it, and you can taste it. I'm telling you, you guys have to go to Breeze Treats if you live in the Worcester area. What's your address, Bree? Tell them.
So Breeze Sweet Treats is located inside the Worcester Public Market, which is like a cozier version of the Boston Faneuil Hall. And we
Yes.
are located on 160 Green Street in Worcester.
Awesome. So if you're in the area, pop by Bree's Sweet Treats and you can see just what Bree and I are talking about, the yummy deliciousness in a candy that was made with love, which you're not going to get in a bag somewhere in a grocery store. So I love that, Brie. I think that's what makes you so unique. And also it's your attitude, you're giving back to the community and just the whole story of your business. All my work is about story. My book is called Tell a New Story. So I love story. I love people's stories. And that's what makes you memorable, right? And you know that because you've been in the corporate world. And that's what people remember. They remember because stories are emotional, right? You can tell somebody the facts of why they should. I love that little known fact, but it's the emotion behind it that people remember.
Hmm.
And when you tell somebody the story of how the business started, that triggers all sorts of emotions in them. I start thinking, oh my gosh, my aunts used to make chocolate when I was little. And, all these memories start coming back to you when somebody shares their story, because our stories are really just a reflection of each other's, right?
They really are. And I love that too, is that my candy and my treats are becoming part of people's stories and people's
Mm.
memories. And I can't even describe it. It just feels amazing that we're able to spread that happiness because that's literally just what we set out to do. It's the
That
only thing we
is,
wanted to do was make people happy.
and the fact that your son at 6 years old was helping you develop this and start this, and of course, being the tasting officer. But kids have that, they haven't lost that, ability to have fun and find excitement. When I heard him come in earlier and he was so excited about his Halloween costume, right? It's like
Oh yeah.
they don't lose that. We need to find more of that in our lives. And I think chocolate and candy sort of brings the kid out in us, right?
Absolutely. It's, my business, since we're talking about my son, my business is it's not just a business, right? We don't hire sales associate, we hire relationship builders because a
Love it.
one-time sale, don't get me wrong, I will take it and I appreciate it. A one-time sale is great, but I want to leave you with something so much more prolific than a piece of candy, a memory, a moment, a feeling that makes you want to come back to Bri Sweet Treats. And when we focus on building the relationship and not making the sale, then I can get my target goal of my legacy, of my shop that is going to feed my son and my grandchildren and their grandchildren. Um,
Hmm.
so it's super important to me that one, he literally just started this because he's the giver too, right? We love giving.
Mm-hmm.
But now he'll tell anyone who listens he is an entrepreneur.
Ooh.
Um, he goes to children's business fairs. We have had held them, and he runs the tent. He knows his prices. He'll tell you about his freeze-dried candy and his peanut butter cups. Like he loves it.
That's
And
awesome. I
that's
love that.
amazing.
You are leaving your legacy already. And I love that that's what you want to do. And you're teaching him so many incredible skills that you only get from watching somebody that they look up to and admire. So we're going to break real quick, everybody, for a message from our sponsor, but don't go anywhere. Bree is going to be right back with her amazing story. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm here with Bri at Bri Sweet Treats, and we are hearing the background story. I love this whole story and how you started the company. And it's all about giving, right? It's all about giving back. And when you and I were chatting on the phone, I just love your attitude and your whole vibe. And you were telling me about this new thing that you were starting with some companies in the area where on Wednesdays you do this little give back thing with companies. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So, yeah, you nailed it right on the head. Like my goal one day is to have a company that is more prolific than Bombas and Steve Shoes. And those are for-profit companies that for every purchase, they are giving back equally.
Mm,
And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to get there. But I figured I'd start with what I could by rolling out this fundraiser program. So, what I do is local nonprofits and community organizations reach out to me and we schedule a Wednesday
hmm
at the shop at Bree Sweet Treats in the Worcester Public Market. And you schedule a Wednesday 4 weeks out. And the goal is that myself and the organization work together to promote the fact that on X Wednesday, 30% of all profits from the day will go to that organization. So go out, get a sweet treat, get a dessert, get a gift, support my small business. And in return, we are supporting said organization
mm,
or nonprofit. And I do that because the goal is that if we're promoting together, then I should get 30% more people and
right.
more sales. And that's not
hmm
my money, in my opinion. That's why you
hmm
give that 30% profit back to the organization.
That is so cool. I love that. It's very innovative. And I love that it's to nonprofits and community organizations. And you're expanding the awareness of these organizations. They're sending people in, but people are just coming into your store and going, wow, I didn't know what this organization did. So you're
Yeah.
getting more awareness for some of the great stuff that we have in the Worcester community and to offer people. And I just love that. And then you're also giving that back to them. So you're helping their cause on a lot of different levels. Really, I think just the word of mouth about things is probably the most popular, I'm going to say powerful way really to do marketing, right?
Absolutely. And because it's trusted, right? If
Yeah.
you trust me and we're having a conversation and you need a wedding treats and you say, "Hey, Bree Sweet Treats, make some fabulous wedding treats," and you're my friend and I trust you, that's all I need to hear. I'm
hmm
contacting Bree Sweet Treats. Um,
Exactly.
so it goes the same way with these organizations because for me, I focus on a lot of organizations. So we're working with education, food insecurity, youth, women, minority empowerment, and entrepreneurship, domestic violence awareness, and curing cancers and illnesses.
Wow.
So these are a lot of the organizations that I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
And just to have their name out there and seen raises awareness. It takes one person to change a life. One
Totally.
person. So if
Totally.
one person is aware of it that isn't before, or it catches their eye and it makes them want to Google it or know more about the cause, then we've done so much more already than the small difference that my 30% profit is going to make.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that because you're carrying on the legacy that was handed down to you, right? Um, growing up, looking for ways to help other people. And I feel like we're kind of at this turning point in our society, right? Where we really are being more open, more aware to so many things in our world that we might not like, but there are things you can do about it. And that's what I love. You're taking
See
action.
the
You're not somebody,
change.
right? You feel the change in the air, just like when autumn breeze comes in, you feel that change in the air. It's very similar to that. I feel it. It's palpable. People are talking about it. It's a buzz. It's a higher vibration, right? And I
Yeah.
love that you're just fully embodying that in setting up this company and then supporting in a lot of different unique ways. That's really powerful.
Yeah, it's really great. It's actually what has allowed us to grow so quickly. And it's actually why we're in the middle of our um, fundraiser campaign to raise money for a cargo van. So it's
Wow.
everything trickles downhill, right?
It so does. I love that you've grown so big that now you can't be carting stuff around in your own car. You need a cargo van. Tell us about that. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have, and we have been blessed to not just be fundraising for a cargo van, but every dollar that we are able to raise for our cargo van, Mass Growth Capital Corporation and Biz Empower through a grant are giving us $2 additional on top of that.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
That's
So every
so
dollar
cool.
is actually three. Every 100 you give, it actually turns out to 300. We
Wow.
There's lots of fun giving levels too, like
Hmm.
free entry for Bri Sweet Treats for an entire year,
Whoa.
right? Um,
Wow.
on Eventbrite, you can actually go get a ticket right now for our comedy show fundraiser called Candy and Comedy. It is going to be
Adorable.
Saturday.
Hmm.
Have you ever been to El Basha in Worcester?
Oh yeah, I love Al Basha.
El Basha on Park Ave,
Yep.
Saturday, November 4th, 6:30 p.m. We are having our comedy show fundraiser there. And
How fun.
yeah, it's so cool because one of the things we are going to be raffling off are vacations. Vacations from
Ooh.
all over the world, including a live auction to, I haven't chosen yet, probably Hawaii and Mexico,
Oh, wow. Two places. Check, check. Yes, yes.
right?
That is so cool. I love that. I really, really love that. Again, one of your really cool ideas. So you're doing these fundraisers and it's to get the van, but so is that a Massachusetts thing, that Mass Growth Fund that you mentioned? That's
Massachusetts
mass
Growth
based.
Capital Corporation is an amazing nonprofit, and I was able to get this opportunity because I am a member of the Blackstone Valley Chamber of Commerce, and they
Hmm.
recommended me for it and sponsored me for it. So very
Wow.
few companies have gotten this grant at the 2-to-1 matching level. So I
Hmm.
have till December 4th to raise this money, and we are well on our way. And we have seen that because we rally around the community, that the community is rallying around us, and it's bringing me to tears.
Oh, that is so moving. And that's just what happens. Like we said before, when you reach out and you support your community, it's amazing the support that comes back to you. And it's not what you intended. You're just doing what comes very naturally to you, I think, as a human being and just wanting to reach out and support people all around you. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that you're showing your son because now he's offering that. Right now he's reflecting that to other young kids. Probably this Tell me about this little entrepreneur group that you were mentioning that he's part of.
So it's not a group that he's part of. So there's a really well-known organization. I think it's called the Acton Children's Business Fair, and
Okay.
they go around to lots of different towns and cities and want people to set up these fairs for children entrepreneurs.
Cool.
So one came to Worcester at the the Burncoat Arts and Wellness Center, where I do a lot of events. It
Yep.
was just a no-brainer. that my son wanted to do it. So we went and we set up with probably 20 or 30 other children entrepreneurs.
Wow.
And I was just there to oversee him. He ran his booth. He got a certificate of entrepreneurship. It's still hanging on the refrigerator. And he got like a real life experience of running and being, head of Bri Sweet
Wow.
Treats. It was really
He,
cool.
he must have been so proud of himself. I love that. Talk about building self-esteem for a young kid.
I can't even remember a time I was more proud. Like I was bursting,
I bet.
bursting with proudness just sitting back and watching him. I must have taped him all day.
Because that's what us moms do.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. But he can look back on that for years. You will always cherish that. And I think with this amazing CTO that you have here, it's just the beginning of things to come for him and the proudness that he's going to bring.
Absolutely. And, I can't mention my CTO without mentioning my president, my husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the best things about our company and how we've been able to expand is we grew so quickly over the last 2 years that my husband just this March left his previous position of 10 years because
Wow.
we had the need for him to come. So we are literally
Wow.
a family. Bri Sweet Treats is literally, this is the only thing my family depends on
Wow.
to
I
make
love
money and
that.
bring income into the house. And my husband and I, we are a well-oiled machine, and I could not do it without him.
Wow. I love that. Shout out to the husband. I love that,
Yeah,
Bri. I didn't realize that. He left his job of 10 years to
yeah.
go and support you. That, my friend, is really, really a testament to how incredible of a job you've done. That's awesome.
It is so exciting, right? Because it was, I need the help, and I'm just stretched too thin. It's okay. Let's pay someone else to do this, or what?
Right?
Pay someone else to do this. Hubby, it's time to come home. We got something here. It's time.
Oh, what that must have been so fun the day he could go in and say, I'm going to leave because I'm going to go support my wife Bri with this amazing business that she started. Like, how cool is
Yeah,
that?
it was bittersweet because they were good to him. It was a good
Hmm.
company.
Hmm.
But the greatest thing is that they were a family-owned company that started small too, and that is now a
Hmm.
multi-million-dollar company, still
Wow.
run by the family. And even though they were sad to see him go, they totally understood because that's the path that they took too.
Hmm. And they
So it was
get it.
really cool.
Yeah, I love that. They totally get that. That's really a beautiful thing. That is so awesome. And we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I want to talk about some really cool things. I want to have you give them some tips, right? So stay tuned. Bri's going to give us some cool tips on how to get over things that get in your way when you're starting a business. So don't go anywhere. Come right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Look for the Good. This is such an awesome conversation we're having with Bri of Bri Sweet Treats. And I just love how she gives back to the community, right? I know you guys are really moved by that. And we wanted to get a couple tips, Bri, because I know it's hard as women in business and we're entrepreneurs. And, we stumble across things because we do everything. We wear all the hats as the entrepreneurs, which is why I'm so glad to hear that you've got some support now. So give us a couple tips. Like, what do you say to yourself? Or is there like a little mantra that you have in your head? What helps you get through stuff and get to the other end when you come across something that tries to stop you?
That's great because I mean, as an entrepreneur, the one thing that you have to know is it's literally full of obstacles. You're gonna cross one obstacle and raise your hand, and another obstacle is going to be there. But these
So
are
true.
usually they're good obstacles to have, right? Obstacles that involve growth and products and things and strategies.
Hmm.
Um, so I love obstacles. They're always opportunities to learn from. The greatest thing, the greatest power anyone can have is the power of their mind and their perspective.
Amen.
So I really, really, really encourage you to work on it, making yourself have a positive perspective. For me, it's all based in my foundation of God and love and faith.
Hmm.
The four hearts actually in my logo of Bri Sweet Treats, they are very intentional. They were there because our foundation at Bri Sweet Treats is our love and commitment to family, friends, faith, and community.
Mm.
And I think when you have a commitment to other people, that allows you to continue to get through other obstacles. It's not about me, it's about how I can make this better for my son. If I give
Mm.
up right now, then how's it going to affect my son, right? But it's also about, for me, it's because my faith is so strong, I'm very certain about two things. It is for my good or his glory. So either
Mm.
way, it is good, no matter what I am going through.
I love that.
And if it's an obstacle and a hard and a lesson, right? I don't think the devil's coming for me. I say, thank you, God, for showing me this right now while I have a small company and I can learn how to overcome this barrier, because I'm going to deal with it 100 times bigger when I have a multi-billion-dollar corporation. So that mindset, it's just
Mm,
huge, right? Um, but also it's
absolutely.
about surrounding yourself with people who have the same mindset.
Yeah.
You cannot go to someone doing nothing with their life, who's super negative, who is not an entrepreneur, who has no goals, and expect that they're going to give you any type of good, positive, or uplifting advice. You're generally going to see naysayers, right, in those
Totally.
areas.
Mm-hmm.
You surround yourself with powerful women, entrepreneurs who are like you. And when you have business problems or entrepreneur problems, they can relate and they're going to uplift you. And the
Mm.
best way I found to do that is to become a member of as many chambers as I can, right?
Wow. Great
I
idea.
am the 2023 Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce Entrepreneur of the Year.
Wow. Yay.
Yes, and it is because I put myself in all of those rooms and I go to all of those events, and my network. I do authentic networking, right? Really
Mm.
building relationships. If you walk into a room and hand out 100 cards, I guarantee you that you're going to make zero connections, as opposed to you spending a good 5 or 10 minutes with two people. That is a
Yeah.
much better networking opportunity than that
Yeah.
quantitative,
Mm-hmm.
here you go, here you go. You've made zero connections.
Absolutely.
Um, so those are my best pieces of advice
I love that.
in harnessing your positive mindset and
Mm-hmm.
surrounding yourself with like-minded women and entrepreneurs.
That is brilliant because it's the collective, right? Like you said before, you when you help other people, you're expanding that happiness level. Not just twofold, it's synchronistic, right? So you've got when you've got the energy going, there are the energies of the universe too, as well, that are lifting us up to that higher level, like you talked about having your faith. And I love that authentic networking, because I think you're right. Like, people just want to give out as many cards, but really, what has that gotten you unless you had a real conversation with a real person? And that is so what's missing nowadays in society on so many levels, especially for the younger generation on their
Mm,
iPhones all
yeah,
the time.
yeah. It's just why I do a lot of teaching at Clark University. I do a lot of panelists, and I do a lot of work with the Clark Entrepreneur and Innovation program and the students in that program as well.
Really? Tell
Yes.
me a little bit more about that. I love that. Again, giving back to where you graduated from. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'll actually, next week on Wednesday, I will be doing a speaker series for Clark University in Worcester, but for the Women in Entrepreneurship Week.
I love that.
Yeah,
Wow. And you
we'll
do,
be
and
talking
that's,
about creating your 1 minute pitch,
yep.
for your company, and
I
how I
love
can
it.
help those young entrepreneurs to do that, because it's so important for you to know who your company is and what is your value added in 60 seconds, your quote
Yep.
unquote elevator
Elevator
pitch.
pitch.
And I'm going to help them with that.
I love that. I love that because they do. And I think anything with writing and marketing intimidates people. And it's so important, like you said, to know and be able to just have it in your back pocket. You can just come out and say it. I often tell people that I sing mine because I'm a former singer-songwriter. Whatever you have to do to get it out there, right? To like tell people what it is about your company that makes you special. Because
Yeah,
really the most special thing that you bring is yourself. Like you said, you have to go out and be Bri because you are the face of the business.
exactly.
Yeah, I love that. It's old-fashioned marketing, but you know what? Nothing works like old-fashioned marketing.
Works,
It's
right?
the press in the flesh, meeting the people, and since we went to all the Zoom's great for, I mean, we couldn't be here right now if it was not for Zoom, right? On a lot of levels, Zoom is awesome. But there's nothing like you said, going out to the meetings, meeting people, having a face-to-face
Shaking those
conversation. Yeah.
hands.
Shaking all the
Yeah.
hands, you just have your disinfectant in your purse, but you're making the contacts. You're out
Yeah.
there. You're meeting real people and other women who are doing the same thing. And there's so much power in that. I went to one the other day and I'm like, I love this place. I'm totally going to join, because it's there for you. There's other women trying to do the same thing. And it's hard. And so if you have some stuff to fall back on, like you just mentioned, that can catapult you to a higher level. And you said something that was really important. I just want to touch on real quick. You said, thank you, God, for bringing this obstacle. I like obstacles, and whatever it is that you believe in, to all my listeners out there, but it's assigning a higher meaning to what's happening. And that's about mindset, right? Instead of why is this happening to me? You've got the attitude of this is happening for me. Wow, look at this. I get a
Yeah.
chance to figure it out now before my company is massive, my billion-dollar company. I can figure it out now when it's small and manageable, have this lesson in my back pocket and apply it when my company grows. That's powerful, Bri.
Yeah. And mindset. And it took a long time to get here, but guess what? You can't get there if you're not trying. So I encourage every single one of you today. It is a challenge. If your mindset needs work, start today.
Yeah.
There's one thing in today that happened to you that could be seen as negative. I challenge you today, right now, to find the positive side of what happened.
Well, you are just so perfect here on Look for the Good. I love that. I really love that. So tell us about, I love this new program that you're running. People can go and they can pre-order all their holiday stuff. And this can also support what we were talking about before, getting that van. Tell us a little bit about how that works.
Yes, so if you go to you can go to patronicity.com/go Bri or shopbrisweettreats.com,
Mm-hmm.
and it will bring you to my sweet supporters packages.
Mm-hmm.
And what that is you can pre-purchase holiday gifts right now, and that will count towards my campaign to get this cargo van. And then you come and pick it up in our store December 6th through December 13th, already gift wrapped, holiday wrapped,
Ooh.
ready to give. And there's a lot of different options, um, from as low as $20 to I think $300, depending upon how much you're looking to give. But at the end of the day, you're going to get gifts anyways. And if you choose to support me, it is literally an opportunity to help change my life, which trickles down to allowing me to help continue to change the community.
That is so powerful. I love that. You're going to get a gift anyways. And why not have it be something that gives back to the community, which is what you're all about, and which is why your business is so successful. People recognize that and they see that you're cutting edge with that. And everybody wants to do more of that. They just don't have time or they don't make the time, right? So here's an easy way to do what you've always wanted to do, which is to give back to community. So yeah, you can do that right online. I love that, through the Sweet Supporter package.
Yeah.
And that's super cool. So go there, go to Bri's website at shopbrisweettreats.com and check it out. Order your stuff. And I'm here to tell you, because I've tasted them, they're unbelievable. Like you said, it's not like that store-bought chocolate that's been 2 or 3 years old. This stuff is fresh. It's beautiful. It's unique. And we all love to come up with something that's like unique. People are sick of getting, whatever, socks and underwear in their stocking. Why not put something beautiful and custom in there? I love the idea of kind of even maybe branding your family, right? You could put your family name on there or something like that,
You
right?
absolutely could. I just did Happy Birthday Alina on images. I just did an anniversary party where the husband put his wife's beautiful face on a candy bar. So when
Oh,
I tell you there are no limitations to what we could do with edible images, it
hmm.
doesn't just stop at businesses.
I love that. You could do something where you do like a picture of your animal, your furry animals, your furry loves, right, in your family, and put your family name on that and give that to everybody at the holiday dinner or something, like how cute would that be?
Yeah, we have dog lovers. We have dipped Oreos that have paws on them. The most common thing for the holidays is going to be the snowflakes, because they don't
Oh,
really go with any religion.
mm-hmm.
They just say
Neutral. Mm-hmm.
holiday and winter. That's a really common
I love that.
design.
Yeah, I love that. I love the snowflake neutral. I love it. I love everything, Bri. You couldn't have been any more perfect of a special guest to have here on the show today, because I love that mindset of yours, always looking for the good and always looking at life as an opportunity, right? Obstacles are opportunities. And I think that's a great
Absolutely.
takeaway for everybody here today. So thank you so much for coming on. And this has been so valuable for everybody. And again, thank you for giving back to the community and all the good that you're putting out there. We really appreciate it, Bri.
Thank you so much for having me, and stay sweet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Thanks so much, Bri. And take care. Remember, everybody, it's never too late to live your best story.
Thanks for tuning in to Look for the Good with your host, Carrie Rowan, best-selling author and mindset coach. Join us every Monday at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. right here at Dreamvisions7Radio Network. If you weren't able to catch an episode, no worries. Just visit our website to find all the archived episodes of Look for the Good on demand, so you don't miss a thing. And remember, it's never too late to live your best story. For additional resources or to find out about how you can work with Carrie directly, visit carrierowan.com for more details.